What is up, Internet? Real quick video. Just wanted to share with everybody. Boost is back together. What did we do? So I made a couple of videos. We took out the air filter, cleaned it, cleaned the air box up. And then we took the air box off. We changed spark plugs, fresh oil. This is literally the first ride with fresh oil and oil filter. You'd be surprised. It doesn't sound like a lot. But with the newer bikes and having secondary injectors in the air box has got to come off to get to the head where the plugs are. It's a lot of shit, man. You got to get all the fairings off. You have to, at a minimum, get the tank propped up. Long story short, I had to actually take the tank off, which the service manual tells you to do, but I don't think it's really necessary. But I did have to take it off because I dropped something down into a quagmire of electrical cables, ABS pumps, ride-by-wire servos, I couldn't see nothing, so I had to take the tank off to find what I dropped, which was just a little Phillips bit on the end of a screwdriver. We got the last Motocomposites carbon fiber piece finally installed. That was a buttload of work to get to this piece. The entire nose has to come off, headlight has to come off. It was a lot of work. Windscreen comes off. Your instrument cluster cover and then the cluster itself needs to come off, and then you can take the nose off. The only complaint I have about the Motocomposite stuff, and we've put on one piece, 2, 3 if you count the other side, 4, 5 if you count the other side there, 6 pieces, and I love the fit and finish is pretty damn good. Good products. I would buy more from them again. However, with the nose piece, the bottom of the turn signals the carbon fiber piece has a post that goes this way. The bottom of the turn signal screws into that post. I didn't see any hardware or instructions that came with any of the Motocomposite pieces. I'm trying to speak English. So I used the screw that was originally in there, and I ended up breaking one of the posts off the carbon fiber and cracking the one on the other side. I used fiberglass resin, reattached this post, reinforced that one. I cut the screws, not in half, I'd say I cut about a third off, and everything's fine, works like a champ. So, but that was frustrating. I shouldn't have had to go through that. The other thing that I don't like is these push pins are not bottoming out. So I don't know if there's too much of a gap between the plastic cover underneath here and the Motocomposite carbon fiber piece. I'll have to reinvestigate that. I thought it was close enough. I thought it was a good lineup, but maybe not. I don't know. Other than that, I have no complaints about the Motocomposite stuff. Again, if I missed the hardware instructions, that's on me, but if they don't ship shorter screws to fit their mold, they should. And they should tell you to use them. All right, let's go for a ride. So we're just out cruising around town, staying local. Because I've unplugged so much crap, did so much work all at once, I decided, hey, let me get my key out of my pocket. We should do a little shakedown run because we're about to go on a nice long road trip. So I wanted to get a few miles, make sure there's no codes, make sure everything's just running right, you know? I mean, think about it. You've got like 3 hoses on the airbox, 2 electrical connections. Secondary injectors have to be either disconnected or removed. Just a lot of things to go wrong. So we're just out here cruising. We need to get some gas. The other reason why I haven't seen this bike as much being at least ridden on the channel, I've been trying to save my tires. They're kind of at a place where it's like, do I go on a 2,000-mile road trip with these tires, or do I get new ones now? Because they're good enough. I don't really want to get new ones, but oh, I love these turns. Too bad there's cars here. It's all right. We still had fun. So I decided I'm going to go on this road trip with the tires that are already on the bike. They're just too good. Still a lot of life left in them that I just couldn't like bear the idea of putting new ones on. And then, you know, the flip side of that is brand new tires, and you're going to go on a road trip where you're going to spend a lot of time on top of the tire. So it's like, God, man, I would hate to throw new tires on and do that, and then I'd hate to not use the rest of the life that's in the tires that I have. So I've been trying not to ride the bike too much, and this is probably the last time I'll ride it before I go on the road trip. I'm not going to tell you guys where I'm going, just because I think it's funner that way. But I'll give you a hint. Beastie Boys. That's it, man. It's all I'm gonna say. So let's get some love juice for the Busa. I'm happy to say everything seems to be in order. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. This is not what the end result's gonna be. I didn't have enough vinyl. I didn't have enough vinyl to bring this. This is supposed to go up and around and over the tank and all the way to the edge here. But all I had left was a sheet about like yay long, so I just cut it off right there. So once I get more vinyl in, I'm just ripping this off, and then we'll do the whole thing. I'm going to keep the same like contour right here. I'm not going to like follow this ridge line. We're going to follow this little dip here and just come out like that. And I know the stripe is not like everybody's cup of tea, but it's growing on me substantially. And I think once I get this last piece done, I'll be super pumped. Oh, the other thing too, I usually never get off the motorcycle on the right side, but whatever. I was thinking about just a tad bit of vinyl like right here, like just that piece right there, and then maybe like right here. I just think like it would just flow into the whoosh, the swoosh, the swoosh thing that used to be chrome, but we'll see. It is pretty nice being back on my comfortable bike. Nice, thick, cushy seat, cruise control. I dig it. It's gonna be nice on the road trip. There for a minute, when I broke the front carbon fiber piece from Motocomposites, when I broke the post off, I wasn't quite sure if the fiberglass resin was gonna hold and be strong enough and all that jazz, right? So for a moment, I was thinking, I'm not gonna not do this road trip, and I was gonna do it on the ZX10, which is more than doable. Done it plenty of times, but throttle lock, plywood for a seat wasn't something I was entirely looking forward to. So I'm glad the fiberglass resin worked. I'm looking forward to throwing down a couple thousand miles on the Busa. Ooh, Busa! I'm in A mode. Something happened. So I never use A mode. I have user 1 and user 2 profile set up. Something happened. I kind of wasn't going to say nothing, and I just kind of wrote it off because it's been fine, but the first time I fired the bike up after all the work I did, and I never disconnected the battery, and I didn't disconnect any of the fuel injectors. I pulled the fuel injectors out of the box, out of the air box. The secondaries, that is. But the first time I fired it up, I got codes, and I'm not sure 100% if they're the exact same codes I got when I had the ECU flashed by More Mafia. But I got codes. The Hill code and FI code came up, and then after 3 key cycles, they have since gone away, and they have not returned. But I noticed my settings is on A instead of my user 1 profile. So that's interesting. Something happened in all of that work. Maybe it was when I was connecting the dash. When I was connecting the dash back up, the instrument cluster, I noticed like my turn signals flashed. And I'm wondering if, it's always just safe to disconnect the battery. Even though technically I wasn't really doing any electrical things at all, it's just always safe to disconnect the battery. Because when the engine's not running, that is the only electrical power source. So, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I'll just do that in the future. Alright, yeah. You guys know what to do. Keep it upside down. We'll see you in the next one. yeah, my fucking TC light isn't on anymore either. Because I'm in A, so that makes sense. Yeah, we gotta switch that bullshit.